Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever considered what something like butter might have to do with intense worries? Or even something as serious as impulsive thoughts of suicide?
It sounds quite startling when you put it like that, doesn't it?
It really does. Today we're taking a deep dive into Butyricum acidum, that's also known as butyric acid.
Right, which the source describes as a volatile acid obtained chiefly from butter.
Exactly. And our guide here is William Boericke's Homeopathic Materia Medica. It's basically a historical record of substances and the symptoms they were thought to address.
And what's really fascinating, I think, is how these sources show such specific, sometimes really surprising symptoms linked to what seems like a pretty normal compound. Our mission for you today really is to pull out the most striking, maybe the most memorable bits from this source.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. Boericke lists quite a few mental and head symptoms for Butyricum acidum. Things like worries over trifles, which, we all get, but maybe more intensely.
Possibly, yeah. And then those really quite alarming impulsive thoughts of suicide.
And just a general constant state of fear and nervousness. That sounds draining.
It really does. And it wasn't just mental, there's a physical headache described too.
Right, one that apparently makes you apprehensive about trifles. So the worry links directly to the headache.
And it gets worse going upstairs or with rapid motion. The description is a dull, hazy ache. It's so specific.
It is incredibly precise, isn't it?
Which does raise that question, how exactly did practitioners back then observe and catalog these very specific mental states alongside the physical ones?
Yeah, what was their method? Makes you wonder.
It does, but moving on from the head symptoms, the Materia Medica gives an equally vivid picture for the stomach and bowels.
Okay, like what?
Well, things like poor appetite, maybe much gas in stomach and bowels.
Uh-huh. Sounds uncomfortable.
Definitely. Also, cramps in pit of stomach, and these were worse at night. Plus a feeling of the stomach heavy and overloaded.
That heavy feeling, yeah.
And it doesn't stop there. It mentions cramp in abdomen below umbilicus, so lower down. Also, bowels irregular, and maybe most uncomfortably, stool accompanied by pain and straining.
So it seems this compound, or at least the observations around it, touched on the whole body, not just the mind and gut.
Exactly. From the abdomen, the source moves to the back and extremities. It describes a tired feeling and dull pain in small of back, specifically worse when walking,
Okay.
and also pain in ankles and up back of leg, plus a more general pain low down in back and extremity.
Wow. It's like a whole pattern of discomfort they're mapping out here.
It really is. And what stands out to me about these details is just how wide-ranging the observations were. They even included sleep.
Sleep disturbances.
Yes, quite significant ones. The text mentions pronounced sleeplessness.
So real trouble sleeping.
Right. And when sleep did come, dreams of serious nature. So not very restful, it seems.
Doesn't sound like it. Okay, anything else stand out?
Well, there are these unique skin symptoms listed too.
Skin. What kind of things?
Things like perspiration on slight exertion, getting sweaty easily, and a very specific, profuse, offensive sweat of feet.
Oh, lovely.
Quite. And then this one's really odd. The crumbling away of fingernails.
Crumbling fingernails. From something related to butter. That's unexpected.
It is unexpected. And just to complete the picture, Boericke includes the modalities.
Right, the things that make symptoms better or worse.
Exactly. Here, symptoms are listed as worse at night, fast walking, going upstairs. You see some overlap with the headache trigger there.
Yeah, the movement aspect. And did it mention a typical ghost in this context?
It did. Just one specific note. Third attenuation, which refers to a very specific level of dilution in homeopathic practice.
Okay, so pulling this all together, what does this deep dive mean for you listening in?
Yep.
It really shows how something as everyday as butter or an acid from it could be linked in these historical texts to a very, very precise and frankly unusual set of symptoms.
Absolutely. And it highlights how knowledge, it's valuable when you understand its context, right? This source shows the incredible detail early practitioners used. It was a different kind of observation, perhaps, but certainly detailed.
It definitely was. So maybe a final thought for you to ponder. What can we learn from these incredibly specific historical notes? Maybe something about the power of just paying really close attention, even to small things, tiny ailments, to understand the bigger health picture.
It does make you wonder, doesn't it? How much detail might we miss today by focusing only on the big, broad categories?
Something to think about.